Stephanie Francis, leader of the Francis Home Team Real Estate Company in the Triangle area of North Carolina. But today I'm coming to you as a mom. We're up in beautiful Boone, North Carolina. Came up here to visit with our daughter, who's a freshman in App. The App State won yesterday, go App, and we've got a rainy Sunday morning. Well, yesterday afternoon, Devin and I worked on the math project and Math 1010, setting up a budget for when she graduates from college and future stages. Just want to give a big thumbs up to the math department at App State for that class and for that topic. Math 1010 seems to be a math for living approach as opposed to a more high school approach to math. And I can tell you, as an adult, I have an MBA in finance, I have a very successful real estate company, and ever since I finished Trig, I have never once had to calculate the cosine of a tangent or an arc. But I can tell you that I have had to tell people why they don't want to co-sign a loan for one of their friends and take on financial responsibility in the event their friend defaults on the loan. Hey, and looking at that project, I also wanted to share with you that 40% of American adults don't have a budget. So just by finishing this project, you are way ahead of the curve for adults in the United States. That means 60% of adults in the United States do not know how much to budget every month, do not know where their money goes, consequently do not know how much they can be saving for cars or for homes or for retirement or to leave to their children, and consequently are not really in control of their finances. So it's a great project, couldn't be more supportive. When Devin and I were working on the project, there were 2 points that came up that came as a surprise to her, and I thought they might be helpful to you as well. There was also a tool that she found helpful that you might find helpful in completing that project. So the first thing that came as a surprise to her were credit cards. The teacher had written correctly that credit cards are a necessary evil. The evil is because they can very easily get out of control. As a nation, Americans tend to have an issue with debt. We use too much of it. We consume too much of what we bring in. We buy it on debt, which means that we are paying off those credit cards at fairly high interest rates for a long, long, long time. The necessary evil part, however, is that as an adult, it really is necessary to have credit cards. It's important to have a conversation with your parents about what's the right time for you to get a credit card, what's the right approach to credit cards, do you get a copy of one of your parents' cards, do they help you establish your own credit, and it needs to be at a time and in a way that's comfortable to you and your parents. When we talked with Devin about this and working through the project, what we decided was we are going to get a credit card for Devin. We're going to help her to get a card because if you need to rent a car in the United States, right or wrong, if you need to rent a car, you have got to have a credit card. Well, if something were to come up and Devin had to get home, she needs to be able to rent a car, which means she needs to have a credit card. In addition, we feel it's an important source of emergency funds. If she has to go to the hospital and needs money to pay for it, a credit card can be taken there. If she needs gas to be able to get home, a credit card can be taken there. We talked a lot about what's a true emergency, but we feel it was an important safety factor. It's also important to start at the appropriate time building a body of credit. In the future, when you want to buy a car, when you want to buy a house or a boat or any other large consumer good, the company lending you the money for that is going to take a look at your body of credit. The body of credit is every credit transaction that you have ever been registered as using in your lifetime. And what they want to see is used credit, paid it, used it, paid it, used it, paid it. They want to see a steady history of using credit responsibly and paying it off consistently. So what we're going to do for Devin to help her start building that body of credit is to sign up for a Netflix account. Netflix is currently $8 per month. She's going to charge the $8, and we're setting up her online bill pay through her online checking to automatically pay $8 a month and beginning that body of used it, paid it, used it, paid it, used it, paid it. That's a good conversation for you to have with your parents about what's the appropriate time and what's the appropriate method. The other thing we talked about was retirement savings. Devin does have a job here on campus. It is never too early to start setting up your retirement account. Retirement savings typically have to be from earned income, and that's why having a job is important. But statistically, if one were to start in your first 5 to 10 years of working, socking away $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 per year, I know that sounds like a lot to you, but $4,000 per year socked away for the first 10 years of your working history, if you never contribute to that fund again, you will be far better off than the typical American who doesn't start putting into that fund until they're in their 30s or 40s. And at that point, $4,000 a year from 35 on to 65 will actually yield you less money than $4,000 a year between, let's say, 22 and 30. The reason is, when you start contributing early, those funds have much more time to compound, to grow in value, and then you get paid interest on what you put in plus the growth. Statistically, it's very, very sound and very significant of how much more money you'll have. In the beginning, it's going to feel like you don't have any money. We went through the budget with Deb, and she said, oh my gosh, I'll have no money, and I haven't even started the job yet. The critical piece is you will never feel like you have enough money for saving and for saving for retirement. It is much easier to do in the beginning, as painful as that sounds to you, and establish the discipline. Because talk to your parents. Once the kids come, paying for daycare, paying for diapers, paying for piano lessons, savings for college, there's even less money as you're making more money, which means the prime saving years for retirement are those first 5 to 10 years right after you get out of school. Hey, we hope this information is helpful. Oh, I also promised you a tool. In calculating how much you will pay for a car payment, for example, or how much your student loans might cost if you're taking student loans, or how much the home mortgage would be, there's a little what we call a widget on my website. It's francishometeam.com. That's www.francishometeam.com. If you jump into Buyer Resource and you look at mortgage calculator, you can type in any ongoing payment debt. That could be student loan, that could be car loan, that could be mortgage, and it will calculate for you. You put in how much the loan would be, you put in what the interest rate is, you can put, just leave a blank for property taxes, not relevant unless it's a home, property insurance, not relevant unless it's a home, you press calculate, it'll come back and it'll tell you what the monthly payment will be over that term. Hey, big thumbs up to the math department. I think it's a super project. Hope this is helpful to you. Mimi Francis, Francis Home Team, and go Devon.